you all for joining us today. We are with GreenState Credit Union to talk about their talent management solution that they built using the Kinetic platform. We engaged conversations with them in early 2021 and then have been building out the talent management product that went live in 2023. With me, I have three of the people that were on the project. I would like to give you a quick moment to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Chris Troyer. I'm an IT business partner here at GreenState and one of the admins in our Kinetic platform and environment. And really, we're excited to bring this product in and get going with managing our employee services process a lot better than today and formalizing them.
Hi, I'm Lauren Belcher, IT service delivery engineer. I do mostly telecom and employee services. And I am excited about Kinetic because it helps us manage all of our tasks.
Hi, my name is Sheila Kromba. My title is IT Service Excellence Coordinator. I am a big fan of Kinetic. I was in charge of the employee tickets and all the steps were manual. And so Kinetic has helped us so much.
I'll start with Chris. Give us a brief introduction about GreenState and the industry you are in.
Yeah, we have grown really rapidly. I've been here for since 2006 and saw us grow from about 600 million in assets to around 12 billion is where we're at now. We have branches across Iowa and now Illinois as well. We have members across the country. I can't even remember our current member count. I don't know if either of you, Sheila or Lauren, know off the top of your head. I want to say 400,000. Is that totally?
No, I think it's higher than that. I was thinking 475. Okay.
Yeah, GreenState's grown a lot in the last, in my time that I've been here. And a lot of that has been because of the culture that we have here. That's always been a really big focus. We have a lot of collaboration that goes on, especially between the departments, work really closely together. And we've really focused on building an environment that employees love to work in. We are the #1 top workplace in Iowa, again, here in this last year, and that's our 4th spot in a row. For Iowa, we've also placed nationally as well. So that's just a testament to the focus on culture and engagement that we have here at the organization.
GreenState Credit Union is a lean organization. So part of our business model is to run with lean staffing, and we pass that benefit onto the member through the savings for employee services. So we're running a tight ship here, and without a type of program to be able to say Sheila's on vacation, I can jump in there and see, okay, what needs to happen here? All the tasks are together, who's going on leave, who may be separated, who's coming in. So that really helps us manage our work to make the most of a small team.
Well, thank you all so much. I know just working with you has been an absolute pleasure. So I do not doubt it at all about the culture that is cultivated at GreenState Credit Union. I know we've touched about it in some places about kind of the manual process of what it was before Kinetic data. Sheila, do you want to talk a little bit about what it was like before the Kinetic platform, like your day-to-day responsibilities and how you were achieving them?
Before we had Kinetic, we used Remedy as our ITSM, and HR was able to submit tickets in there, but with very little detail or notes. It's, like a transfer. It would be just the plain information. There was no way to verify if their information was like correct for like the transfers or, did their system match our system? And the accuracy, of course, was not there because it was, for the quantity of employee tickets that we do, I did a lot of rushing with trying to complete those. So Kinetic takes it, down a step where takes it to a level where these tickets come in and they're automatically updated in our Active Directory and our Exchange. So right off there, we're starting with better accuracy than a human person can do. So there was, like I said, there was hard having notes and understanding or verifying the information that was always in the Remedy ticket, where Kinetic, it'll tell you, hey, this doesn't jive with what we have for records. And it's really great way to make sure that all of our information is accurate with HR and for us.
Yeah, so Chris, I know at the beginning you were part of the initiative for finding kind of a solution. When you were going through and looking about what were the key pain points that you were trying to line up with the solution you were looking for?
Yeah, two of the biggest challenges we were having with our current approach to it was flexibility of the product. So we were very limited in what we could do on our current platform. We could basically just create a bunch of dummy tasks, and that's about it. So if there was any change to the process, it would be going back and manually updating the due dates on the tasks and things like that. So the flexibility is something that was important to us because we were really locked in. And another thing was just the connectivity. Integrating with our other systems. So while our current system was built in the Salesforce platform, doing those APIs and connections out there is pretty complex, and there was some custom code and things like that we would have needed to have known to do those right. And a big part of Kinetic is integrations, right? Connecting to your other platforms. So when we brought it in, being able to, on the first part, have the flexibility to design the forms however we needed them to design the workflows and the process to adjust. So for instance, for in-flight tickets where we needed to make a change, maybe a date change, maybe we need to cancel it, we could build a workflow, and we worked with Kinetic to build the workflow where you can go back and adjust those tickets and adjust all related tasks and cascades down, something that we didn't have in the old platform. From the connectivity standpoint, Sheila touched on it a little bit ago, but we have that connection to Active Directory. So it's automatically updating group memberships, attributes on the user account records, distribution groups, all those things for us, which is great. Plus the potential to connect to our other systems to automate our user account creation and modification of records in other systems too. So we just have a lot more connectivity available to us. And those were two things that were really important compared to our current solution. And Kinetic delivers on those.
One thing is that we have a lot of different job titles, and so organizing the information is very difficult. Different security distribution groups that employees need access to, what type of programs. If somebody from senior leadership were to ask us, what do they have access to? We actually have a way to show, okay, this is what they get. Here's the template. So it makes it, for auditing purposes, a lot easier to answer those questions. With all the changes that we have on telecom wise, especially when people go on leave and return from leave, there wasn't really a great way because the date isn't always well defined. Sometimes they may come back early, sometimes they may come back late. And now you have that task that just shoots off right away so that we can make sure that their access is restored.
Kinetic has provided us the opportunity to save time in our processing, open up communication between different departments or different users in the process. So it's saved us a lot of time, but it has also given the employee a better experience, because when they have a transfer that's supposed to be set Monday morning, it's already done and completed for them so that they can move into their new role without having to reach out to IT with, I need this access, I need this access. Now, that's always a growing problem because things are always changing, who gets access to stuff, but we work really hard to try to be as accurate as we can for each role that we have. So
I do want to add that sometimes HR and a supervisor request special privileges. For example, a coworker access to another employee's mailbox while they're on leave so that they can help the membership. And so that helps us track those requests for auditing purposes as well, which is really important since we're granting access to somebody else's personal mailbox.
Sheila mentioned previously that we had our HR group using our IT ticketing system portal was where we had the submissions for employee services before. And again, those forms were very rigid and not very user-friendly. So we could not do what we wanted to and give them the experience that we wanted our HR partners to have. And we've heard from them since we've gone to Kinetic, again, having more latitude to design the forms, making them more dynamic. That's been really nice for them. And I think it's helped reduce some data input errors on their side as well. We still have some from time to time, and that's just working our process, but it gives us a lot more flexibility, putting constraints in the fields and validation and things like that. So I think from that end, it's been a good experience for our end users who are submitting them, and a better experience for us on the data accuracy that we get from them.
All right. If you were to rate the main priorities for the solution in terms of automation, integration, and user experience, how would you rate them?
User experience is probably the most important thing to me. I want to be able to provide our employees with the experience of having everything done accurately, on time, and to their satisfaction. So Kinetic's just been able for me to has been able to enable this for me, to make it easier for me to follow through with our employees.
For me, automation is number one. I have a type A personality, and I love seeing stuff firing off, a definitive list of tasks, just easy to close, just boom, 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 like that. Obviously, integration is important for me as well, because that helps keep those tasks firing off and everything organized really efficiently.
Last question I want to ask before we get into a walkthrough is, I know while you were doing your research, you knew you had a pain point. What was it about the Kinetic platform that stood out to you for the decision-making process? So how did Kinetic data ultimately win your hearts over?
What appealed to us about Kinetic is just the wide application in our environment. So we actually came across Kinetic when we were looking for a new front end for our IT self-service portal. But then as we got into conversation, we learned more about what it can do and how powerful it is. It can be an automation platform, an integration platform. We could use it for request tracking across our organization, which is something we had long talked about, and having a single portal for our employees to access any and all resources they need. So that was the thing. While it was meant to address one particular pain point, we realized it could really fit a lot of needs here at the organization, and that's what ultimately drew us to it. So we wanted to show you some of the key features of our Kinetic environment here and how it's really helped us to streamline our employee services processes. So this is the dashboard that Kinetic built for us. We've got recent activity that's been submitted, so either IT staff or HR staff coming in here, they can easily see what are the hot items, the current items that are going on in the organization. On the right over here, they have access to some of the quick forms that they use most often. And then they can click into any one of these records and see the current status. So it gives great visibility to what's going on in our processes. So I come to an onboarding process here. Right at this, we've got the task tracker, so we can see all the tasks that are in flight, what have been completed, which ones are still pending, where is the overall process going, so we're getting close to completion on this one. They can also click up here and do review ticket, so they can see all the details of the original submission, all the forms that they filled out. This particular process for us for onboarding is connected into our applicant tracking system, so these tickets are submitted automatically once our HR team triggers something on their side. All the data comes over through an integration that we built and populates this form. So it's saving data entry for our HR staff, not having to come over and manually put that data all in again in this system. And then they can look at activity details at a high level. So, what are the different milestones that we're hitting with this? What are the specific tasks that have been assigned out? So it just gives really good visibility into the processes. And the way these tasks are generated is that this is another big win for us with Kinetic is, we've got a lot of different roles, a lot of different departments across the organization, and a lot of different systems that people need to access. We manage access to, I don't even know, upwards of 100 systems, probably 200 different systems, and not everybody needs access to everyone, right? And that's a lot to track. So one of the challenges before is we were doing that manually. A lot of that information lived in our heads in determining, hey, this is the role they're going to be in, this is the access they need. That's not ideal, right? We're kind of making those judgments on the fly a little bit sometimes. And so we wanted to systematize that and get that into the system and have rules built around that it tells us, we program in the information, say this role needs this access. Then when somebody gets hired into that, it fires off the tasks automatically for us. We know exactly what needs to be done and there's no question about it. And so these tasks that come here are built off a template system that Kinetic set up for us that we can manage in here in employee task position templates. So we can create these templates and say, yes, this role needs access to all these systems. When that onboarding ticket comes in, it looks at the role, it finds the template, and it creates the tasks and automates the steps that it can and gets those done for us. What's even more powerful is transfers. When we have those processes where somebody's moving from a role where they have certain access and they're moving to another role, they need different access. Kinetic can go through and they can compare what they have today compared to what they're going to need, and it generates the proper test to remove the access they no longer need, add the access they will need, and it ensures we get everything completed accurately for that employee. That's a huge win for us. We're not having to go through and figure that out for ourselves here. So that's been really helpful. And then when it comes to going and looking at what access an employee has, we can come over to our All Employees tab, and we can search for an employee or just scroll down for them. And when looking at an employee, we have all the systems that they currently have access to, when it was granted to them, and then we can see all the different employee workflows that have been put out there for that they've been the subject of. And you can click into any one of those and see all the specific information that changed for them. So again, it just gives great visibility into what are the changes that this employee has had recently if we need to, what systems do they have access to, and allows us to track that. Especially for auditing purposes, we have requirements around certain systems that we need to make sure that they are in place for those roles, and Kinetic helps make sure that we get those in place for them.